and welcome to Add More Zest, and my name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 11th of December to everybody. I'm filming this on the 11th of December, maybe cutting it a bit fine to be able to get it uploaded for 4 o'clock, but we were out with friends last night. So I hope you're all having a very, very good weekend. So I'm going to start with my advent calendar for day 11. Trying to work out if it's diamonds or not. It's not. It's a macaroon. So there are a few places that give these a macaroon holders, and then they have wax inside. If you do still use wax rather than glue dots, I do advise it being in some sort of pot. It's definitely helps the wax to not dry out as much if it's in a pot. And these are quite cute. I'm trying to work out if it has a plastic coating over the top of it, but it actually doesn't seem to be. It's straight wax for you to dip your pen into. So that's day 11. I'm using a white tray today. This is one of our standard colours. This is actually one of the 4Kids ones, but it is our standard colour tray. And then I'm using one of our stock pens in this blue. I've got something stuck on that tray. Oh, it'll sort itself out. Let me take my cardi off. I can't decide if I'm warm or cold. I think that might be something to do with the amount that was consumed last night while we were out. Okay, day 11. Let me just have a rearrange of these two by the looks of it, just to make sure I can get to that corner one and keep everything else covered up. So I think I'm going to start with the blue again, which is actually over here. So that's what I've got left in my sort of next tub. I still have 2 full tubs left. So if I go through all of these, I can switch the lid over. See if I go through all of them or not. Beautiful blue. Okay, let's zoom in. And I still got the wrong way. I do need to scoot over more. I thought I might do. Let me just move my diamonds a little bit so I can move my easel. I'm using some big clips to hold it onto my easel at the moment because I think Megan did some diamond painting last night while we were out, and she borrowed my light pad and it's not yet made it back here. So because I'm on day 11, I needed to clip it, and I normally clip it to my light pad because the easel is quite thick. But I say, because she's borrowed it, I decided I'd go with these big clips. I'm not sure if the unboxing video for the big clips has been up yet, but it will be coming up. There is a site that is now selling these big clips. I know they're used for prams and things like that. They're used for a lot of other stuff, but it's quite handy if I need to clip something to the easel. I know when I was nearly finished on Mr. Quacker's, he wasn't quite ready to be clipped at the top, but there was a lot that was done that was rolled up at the bottom, and I could have done with a couple of these clips then, just to hold some of the canvas back a bit, just due to the weight of all the diamonds further down. It just needed that little extra bit of sturdiness. So I'm glad to have them as an option for pinning up my canvas if I need to, especially if I don't have my light pad on, which, I mean, sometimes I need it with my light pad, just to take some of that extra weight. But especially now, because on the whip and chats I don't use my light pad, I have my big filming lights and I can plenty see what I'm doing. these clips will be handy if my light pad is elsewhere. Like today. That one needs to move a little bit. There we go. So, comments. Helen. Helen's just done quite a few comments on day 5. So she says she loves the pen that I'm using on day 5. And she also asks, could people buy the unboxings that we do? The unboxings, paintings that I don't keep online for charity. That is something that we are going to look into. We will do some giveaways soon, because giveaways are always good. And I think it's always worth doing some giveaways so that people can get some different type of diamond paintings. But we are looking at potentially doing, maybe some boxes, mystery type boxes for the cheap amount that that will contain some of the items that I've unboxed, and you can buy them cheaper, but you of course don't know what they are. We are looking into all that sort of stuff. It's just finding the time. I need to find the time to sort of compile the boxes so we know how many we have, how many items we can fit in nicely, and what the postage might be like. Because quite often it's the postage that can hit quite a bit. A lot of our shop items go in what's called a large letterbox, which is actually cheaper postage from our mail service because it's thinner and it will fit in a letterbox. And a lot of our orders are able to go in one of those, which is what helps keep the postage cost down as much as we can. But of course with the diamond paintings it doesn't work that way. They don't fit in that sort of box as well, so we have to go bigger. So it is something we're looking into. We will, once we have a chunk of time that we can dedicate to it, to get the paintings organised and sorted and see what sort of prices we're looking at, then that is something we'll definitely do. Because I kind of need the space. There's far too many. Helen said she was so excited as well when I read her question out. She also said, what do you think is better, poured glue or double-sided tape? She says she loves my videos, but her bank account doesn't. So between poured glue and double-sided tape, I prefer poured glue. While I like pre-cover paper, so having this cover paper on, I like the double-sided tape because I could cut the paper and I wasn't seeing the image. And normally when I did a poured glue one, it would have a clear cover and I'd find myself, chasing the design and chasing the diamonds around. But overall, the poured glue is nicer to work with. I find you can move the diamonds and slide them over a little bit. You can also be rougher with the canvas. As in, it doesn't tend to crease or get those little bubbles or anything like that, the same way that the double-sided tape does. So you can be a lot more rough with it, and it doesn't affect the painting itself before you work on it. Whereas if you're too rough with double-sided tape, you can cause bubbles that you do need to, in effect, cut out before you can do the painting. So yeah, I'd say poured glue I prefer, though if something is double-sided tape and I like the image, it won't necessarily stop me getting it, but I do sway towards poured glue. It's nice that you can see the image before you go to do it as well, even if I do then cover it up, because it stops me seeing a colour just a little bit out of the way. you know, if I was doing this section here and it was like, oh, there's only 2 more Ds, oh, I'll just put them on. And then I'd do the, I'll just put them on. And I end up going way out of a section. I much prefer the fact that I can put cover paper on, block it, and I'm working on that section. I feel like I'm getting somewhere in an organised manner, which I prefer a lot more. But yeah, poured glue for me. Melissa, she says, love your Zesty Wolf. She says, and she can't wait to do hers. She's not sure that she's going to be able to wait until the June waffles. He is a really nice painting. He is a really nice painting to do. She says she's just about keeping up with Advent, but she fell over, last Saturday, she said, before December, and hurt her knee quite bad, to the point she can't bend. She can't bend with her weight, bend it with her weight on it. Ouch. She says by the 2nd of December, she said her back went due to her not walking correctly because of her knee. Ooh. Now she's struggling to stand or sit or lay. Ouch. She said she did start her section today, 30 minutes before me. And every time she had to move, she said she just paused. She just paused, and she is really wishing for a speedy recovery. She says, love your videos and listening to everyone's comments. She says when she's feeling alone, she watches one of my whipping chats. She says, like you say, you're not chatting to a camera, you're chatting with all of us. She says, so a big thank you. Yeah, you've had a rough year this year, Melissa. I do really hope that 2022 is on the up for you. 2022 is going to be the year. I think 2020 and 2021 needs to be potentially erased from history, or definitely parked as not the best year for many people. But I do really hope that 2022 is a lot better for you and for everybody. Hopefully we all start to get some form of normality back, or whatever is the new normal, and we start to get that back and start to feel as though, you know, we can get on with our lives without being thrown curveballs all the time. Giles has said, I know somebody who would love one of those purple trays. Jackie said she would too, and Diamond Art Studio, which is Sam, who's married to Giles, says, get your wallet ready for the next batch of these, Sutcliffe. Giles has still been doing a Zesty Wolf, just to keep everybody updated who may not be in the group. So his first ever diamond painting, and so far, from the comments I've seen on our, daily thread of everybody's updates, there was a day he did 2 at once to catch up when he'd not done the day before, but he has still been doing Zesty Wolf as his first ever diamond painting. He's doing, it's just amazing that we've sort of got somebody else into it. Whether it will stick long term, I don't know, but it's nice that he got a chance to join in. And yeah, I hope they're both enjoying the standard trays that they got. And we do know that Sam wants a purple one. As soon as they are available, it is on our radar. And there will be some purple coming in 2022. For definite, we now have a stocking of a lighter purple and a darker purple. And yeah, we'll be getting those trays hopefully beginning-ish of 2022, depending on how the Zesty trays go in January and how tied up the printers are. but we're definitely working on it. Purple will be back, and I'm sure many other colours will be back, as well as trying to mix in. We have some ones that of course we've not printed yet, and we just keep listening out to the colours that people want and trying to meet those needs or wants in relation to colours, and also try to find, you know, the odd different colour as and when we can, just to spice things up a little bit. Lady Dax, she says she was one of the Mystery June wafflers. So she was one of the ladies that did the mystery painting from Row Diamonds. There was actually 2 ladies that did it, but she was one of them. She said, and yes, it was a baby dragon. She has 3 more mystery paintings to do from Kate'd, but they're poured glue with a clear cover, she said, so not as much of a mystery. That's the thing, you can sort of tell sometimes with the mystery paintings. I'm pretty sure that, you know, some of the software that people use, the symbols that are used to determine, you know, the symbols that are used to determine the colours, so i.e. the fact that this is a big square for the black, they do tend to go down in sort of a shading type order. I've seen on quite a few, so the bolder ones do tend to be darker colours. So yeah, I can imagine it's very hard to do a mystery painting that you actually don't know what it is, especially if it's a clear cover and you're looking at it. She says, but she might keep one for the June waffle 2022, and she might hide it with cover papers. Yeah, I mean, there are some elements of it. I did get a mystery from Margaret, gifted me a mystery diamond painting that ended up being a bunny with flowers and stuff. It did come as, I'm pretty sure it came as double-sided tape, so I didn't end up peeling it all back and looking at it all. But it did take me quite a few sections of doing the painting before I could work out what it was. And I think that's because it had the flowers as well as the rabbit. It took a while to determine exactly what it was. And I think with the wolf, I can understand people saying that it'll take a while if you didn't know what it was, to determine what it was. And I think that's because it's not the colours of a standard wolf. It's not what you'd call normal wolf colours. It's pretty wolf colours. And yeah, if it wasn't for it being poured glue where you could potentially see it if the symbols were black and white. But I don't know if you'd ever find a perfect mystery painting, to be honest. Emma says she loves watching my videos. She says sorry she can't join in the Advent, as she's just finished her painting for her mum for Christmas, and she's just started another one for somebody else for Christmas. Well, to me, that's you joining in, Emma. Doesn't matter whether you're doing, you know, one big painting that you're not sectioning up into 24, whether you're doing lots of little ones, you know, whatever it is that you're doing. And to me, it sounds as though you've just finished one painting and you're starting another. It's just all about carving a little bit of you time. I've just realised I've moved this completely out of shot. The easel slides every now and then. It doesn't slide on the table I use in the conservatory because it's got a texture on the surface of my table. But this table in here is smooth flat, so the easel can move every now and then, so I do apologise. It's scooted up. But yeah, Emma, you know, you finish one painting, you're working on another painting, so therefore, to me, you're joining in. Just because it's not one picture doesn't mean you're not getting your little bit of me time, which is the point. That's the point of it all. So I do still have a few left in there. I guess I'll be changing the tub next time. But let's go for some 310. Let's get those lovely little outlines done. Okay, and then we'll go on to the next question. I am amazed and love the amount of comments that are coming on the December Whip and Waffle. So I do thank you all. It will take me a while to get through the comments, but I do thank you all for taking the time to leave them and asking your questions. So Diana, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, I'm absolutely loving the Advent. She said, others are trying to do the same, but by far, she says she thinks I'm the best at it. Oh, I haven't even noticed that other people are doing some sort of Advent. I just know I started it 3 years ago, people enjoyed it, and I just kept doing it. That works for me. I suppose they say doing this sort of similar thing is flattery. That's fine. An Advent's an Advent. Join in as many or as few as you like. She says she was lucky enough to snag a black tray when it launched. She was so excited and worried that she would miss out that she forgot to add some of the other items she wanted to her cart. She said, I just wanted to get checked out quick to be sure she would get one. She says, now, I may be a bit cheeky. I just wanted to throw it out there, she said, that I think you should make a black zesty tray too. So that's the slightly smaller tray. She said that will also end up in my cart. There are a few that we do know people will potentially want as a zesty tray. In fact, there's loads. We could do absolutely loads, I think, and still not get through all the colours. But I'll definitely put it on my customer wish list. She says she's going to purchase 2 of the smaller zesties in the new year once her bank account recovers from the holidays. That is perfectly fine. That is why we are launching the standard colours in the zesty trays in January. We want people to be able to pick them up when their bank account is recovered and not feel as though they are limited. So the zesty trays, they're not going to be limited in January. We may have to switch them to pre-order if the ones that we've prepped aren't enough. But I'm kind of hoping that there is enough for most people to get them. And then, of course, we can reprint and restock ready for people buying them at different points throughout the year. She says, and would love to add a third if it came in black. Just thought she'd put that out in the universe in case the diamond painting spirits are listening. I'm listening. I'll put it on my list. It won't be a January. It won't even be a February either. So it will be a later on in the year thing. But I will definitely put black on the list as wanting to be done in a zesty tray. Yeah, we're still figuring out whether to sort of, the limited editions to be the same colour but both sizes available, or whether to mix up the colours, between zesty trays and big trays. We're still sort of deciding. It might actually vary from month on month. So if we do repeat some colours that we've done previously, we might just bring them out in the zesty instead of the big. But then there are people that prefer the bigger one. And I love the zesty tray when I've got something that's a lot of confetti. But I do still overall prefer the bigger one. And I think it's just the way the drills line up and the amount of drills that I can get in them. Slightly easier in the bigger tray. She says, thank you for what you do for us. And she appreciates how careful you are in taking our experience with our purchases to heart and always consider what you would expect as a customer yourself. She says that shows great integrity, and I, for one, so appreciate that. She says, sorry for the long rant, but I give credit where it's due, so thank you. Yeah, we do always try and listen to customers and what they want. And also I try and be honest in relation to, you know, the chances of something being done, and how soon that may or may not be. I don't like to commit to anything until it's something I definitely know. But our 3 printers work their heart out pretty much every single day. We do give ourselves the odd day off at a weekend, just depends on what we're doing. So they're currently not on because hubby and Caris are watching Formula One. But if we are busy, you know, pottering around the house and stuff like that, they will go on at a weekend, and they are on every day. It's just a noise I'm used to listening to while I'm working. It's just there in the background. But yeah, we'll try and, you know, meet everybody's needs as much as possible and as soon as possible. And we are going to have a look at logbook extras that people have kindly asked about and have emailed in after our sort of request to just say, can you email us with what it is that you want in? We have listened to that. So they are currently, I've replied, you know, saying that we will look into it. That is something, as soon as we get a bit of spare time, Megan and I are going to have a look and see, you know, if we can get the printout that people are wanting and add them as a logbook extra, so that you can pick to add those to your logbook if you want to. Add them to your existing or to a new one, whichever it may be. Susan said, I would also love the black in a zesty tray. She said, adding her thoughts to the universe and hoping that it sticks. So noted. I say we will pop that one on our list and see how soon we can get to it. Okay, I only need, about 4 of these. Oh, and of course, I tried to tip out 4 and I ended up with 5, but that's fine. I've got 4 that have turned the right way up, so you are the chosen 4. And then I'll just pick that one up with my finger and throw it back in the pots. Oh, loving this. Loving the colours in it. Okay, number 1. Anna says, great as usual. Thank you. And Fee commented actually on the Minions Whip and Waffle. She says she's shocked that I didn't get anything on Black Friday. She says she's on a no buy, but she did get 5 Diamond Art Clubs and 1 mystery from Prism. She said, oops. Yeah, I think there was just, I've got quite a few paintings in my stash at the minute. And I think with doing the December Advent and it being December, so far I've been able to do Zesty Wolf, of course, hence the videos are up. But I haven't been able to do any other diamond paintings in between at the moment. And I think once my stash goes down a little bit and I find I'm back to, maybe a more normal-ish evening where I'm able to get an hour or 2 in working on 1 or 2 paintings. I think once that happens, then I'm much more likely to be buying because my stash is going down. I think that's what stopped me and got me to only sort of buy things that I'm like, I really, really want. I did buy one from Diamond Art Studio UK, one of their new designs. I actually still need to unbox that. I want to do an unboxing video, which will go up in the new year. But I want to actually do it so that I can get into it and have a nosy. So Laundry says, you are so amazing. So glad you do whip and chats. Oh, thank you. And Susan says, another really great day of waffling. She says she's keep going back in her mind, thinking that if this was a mystery painting, we would have no clue what it is. Yeah, I agree with that. It's probably your comment, actually, Susan, that's made me think of that when I mentioned it earlier. She says she loves that I got to his ear. That was on the 5th, so I got a little bit of his ear done. She said the grey shading really does look good. She said, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, Sam did an amazing job on the shading and sort of the colour stuff of the painting. It is definitely a tribute as to why she's good at what she does and I'm good at the other stuff I do. She's really good at the shading and all that sort of stuff. And manipulating it all to look good. We did have a look at it with a few different sort of backgrounds and stuff. There was a few different colour options, but it was this blue that it popped the most. It popped and looked the best. So that's what we went for. Mary James says the In Death series is amazing. She says my mum and I love it. She says we have them all and it just gets better. Some of them are a little slow starting, but they are amazing. Yeah, I think there's only, I mean, I've reread sort of especially the first few probably 3 or 4 times. I do occasionally sort of go back through the series. There are some of the later ones that I may have only read once. And that's because, you know, they either weren't out when I reread them. They were sort of the new ones and I hadn't reread them since. But there's only a couple, I think, that when I do start listening to them on a re-go, I'm a bit like, not that keen on this one. But I still listen to them because it's all the in-betweeny bits that I get hooked on hearing. And I want to, you know, make sure that I get that sort of timeline story in with everything else. But they're so well written, even if I'm not keen on, you know, the murder and the mystery section of that book. And when I say not keen, it's not that they're bad or they're horrible. They're just... then they're probably my least favourite, which is probably makes me go, oh, it's this one. There are still bits that I sort of forget, and it's quite nice when I go through and it's like, I get to a certain point and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is what happened. You know, and sometimes I have a few guesses at who the murderer is, even though I've read it before. And sometimes I still manage to forget. Until a certain key part of a story comes in and I'm like, yeah, got it now. So, just had shouts in the background. I reckon something happened on Formula 1. Okay, Carly, she says her birthday is coming up. December 29th, baby, she says. I'm going to turn 18. Oh, awesome. My youngest turns 18 in January. So we do need to get something sorted for that as well. But it's Karis's birthday first. Hers is on the 19th. So when I do that section, it will be happy birthday time. Amy, she says she feels so much for retail, but post people work hard. Yes, they do work hard as well. She says also the ones that work in the warehouse where you don't see them. She says her partner has had this weekend off and couldn't move much. I am not surprised. I think, you know, postal purchases have gone up absolutely hugely since, you know, the virus has been about. And they do work so hard. I mean, sometimes we have, you know, parcels arrive so late. I think we actually had something delivered last night, one of the kids' sort of Christmas presents. And like the tracking updated that, you know, we were sort of order 110 of like 140 plus, you know, and our delivery could arrive anything up till 7:30. And it's like, how late are these poor people working? And of course the warehouse to get everything together. I know when Megan and I packed the orders on Sunday, which of course was a launch day, so it was a busy order day for us. And it just sort of makes you think about, you know, some people who were working in warehouses for big companies and they're packing those sorts of orders, you know, every day. And it is exhausting. It is absolutely exhausting sometimes. When it's long time, I think. And then Carly says, oh, let me just get my next colour. I need my 761. You get that in my tray. I don't think I can concentrate on pouring diamonds and questions unless I've already read it out. Okay, so Carly says, so where did you find the glue dots and how long do they typically last? She says, how much would you say they are? So you can get glue dots on Amazon. We also have glue dots in our shop. They will be restocked this upcoming week. We got, you know, what we thought may be enough, thinking, well, a lot of people have glue dots, you know. We just want them in as an item that people can sort of add to their cart if they're getting something else. But I think due to the thickness of the glue dots that we stock, even though they're still small, I think, you know, they've worked out to be really good glue dots, which I think has attracted a few more orders than we thought. So the initial stock did fly out, but we do have more coming. It is on its way, so as soon as it arrives, it will be put back on the website along with the double-sided tape. We have also ordered a lot of that, a lot, because it's a bargain price. But the glue dots that we sell are £2.25 for 300 small dots. And at the moment, they're called very small dots, so they're only 3mm across, but they are a little bit thicker. And so far, I may need to add a second one, but so far I've only been putting one in each pen. That's all that's been needed. It's sort of been the ideal size for the pen tip to put one in. So they're £2.25, and each single glue dot in a pen, I don't think I've changed any yet. So I'd be happy to say a month or more for it to last. I think it does depend on how much you diamond paint, of course. I have had some glue dots in, not that brand, some of the original ones that I got. I have had some of those that were in a pen, and I have found the odd time I've needed to sort of take them out and roll them a bit so that, you know, a different part of the glue dot is on the top, and then I've popped it back in again. But I haven't actually taken glue dots out of a pen yet, completely out of a pen, to put in brand new ones. So I couldn't tell you the exact time. But I do, you know, normally diamond paint quite a lot. But I do also change up my pens. So maybe I need to time, maybe not time, maybe use a particular pen for a certain painting. Maybe, you know, a bit like, well, Zesty Wolf, I've of course changed the pens up as we've gone per whip and chat for a bit of difference. But maybe when I start another painting from fresh, maybe I need to put a fresh glue dot in one pen and just use that pen for the painting, and then continue on to the next painting if it's still good. And rather than say time-wise, say, okay, it has done 3 30 by 40 paintings, for example, before I changed it. Maybe that's a challenge for next year, to sort of pick a pen, put a glue dot in, and test how long it lasts, size of painting wise, before I feel that the glue dot is done. I'll put that on my little list. My little potential to-dos, a video list. But they're not expensive and you get absolutely loads. So they are likely to keep you going for a good few years with the one box. Brianna, she says this is the first time she's watched my Advent videos, she says, and she loves them. She says she's new to diamond painting and wanted to ask you what's the biggest difference between the standard pink pens and the fancier ones. She said, and are they much better? The biggest difference is the thickness. So, you know, taking aside the fact that these pens are prettier, which is often, you know, the reason for somebody picking one in the first place, is they want something pretty to look at while they're diamond painting all the time. The main thing that I find is better overall to a standard pink pen is the thickness. So you can actually hold this pen further down at this thick section. I tend to go for sort of where it sinks in a little bit. That's quite a nice holding area. You can hold it further up. A lot depends on how you hold a pen. I could hold it there and do it perfectly fine, but that's my sweet spot. But that's still 2 to 3 times thicker than a pink pen, which means, you know, your fingers aren't closer together for a longer period of time, and it can really help, especially if you have, you know, maybe you find that your hand cramps or you have trouble with your hands after holding a pen for a longer period of time. But yeah, that's the main thing, is that they are better on your hands because they're thicker and they're pretty. It's nice to have a pretty pen that you can look at while you're diamond painting, and it can make you smile, because why not? Right. Oh, and Jolande, don't know if I've said that again in the right way. I am sorry. She says, hi Rebecca, enjoying the Advent videos, and she's loving seeing the Zesty Wolf come to life. She said lots of love from South Africa. So that is day 11 done. Oh, day 20 does not want to stick, does it? I suppose I do keep moving it about. Day 11 is done. He's getting there, isn't he? Oh, we're down here at the bottom for tomorrow. Down for day 12. But, oh, he's so pretty. So pretty. Another fairly quick one today. Probably good. As I say, I was out last night, so I think I'm going to go and have a bit of couch time. But I do thank you all so much for joining me today. And I hope you'll join me tomorrow. Speak to you all again soon.